So the biggest difference between the greatest ball strikers in the world and most club golfers is the ability to set up over the golf ball and get that lovely crisp strike on the golf ball where we transfer great energy from club to ball, we compress it, hit down, ball and then turf contact. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a drill that Jack Nicklaus used to use, Tiger Woods has used over the years, and Phil Mickelson. And it's an unbelievably simple drill and a great change in focus of what you need to do to start generating that nice, powerful impact position that we see all the top players in the world do, and yet most club golfers, we see much more of this. So, why do we see such a big difference between the best ball strikers in the world and pretty much every other golfer? Well, the key is, for most golfers, the golf ball is just the be-all and end-all of the golf swing, and it's kind of the bottom of their swing. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to hit at the ball, lift the ball in the air, make it go straight, whereas the best players in the world, and this might surprise you, actually aren't that bothered about where the golf ball is. What they're trying to do is make their best golf swing, and just the ball gets collected as the club's traveling down to its lowest point. So I've got a 7-iron in my hand, but anytime the golf ball is on the ground, the lowest point of your golf swing should be ahead of the golf ball. Now, I'm sure for you eagle-eyed viewers, you will notice that there isn't just a golf ball there, there is actually something else. So it's just one of my speed pedals, but you could put a golf ball or anything there, about 18 inches ahead of the golf ball. And what Jack Nicklaus used to talk about was, in order for him to kind of move his weight onto his left side and feel that he delivered the club this way, he actually focused on this point here and actually tried to feel that the club extended fully by this point. So he'd collect the ball and then extend the widest part of the swing after the ball. And obviously he was pretty good at getting ball and then ground contact. But when you watch most swings, and if you videoed your own swing, particularly face on, you might see a lot of the club getting delivered this way. So your widest part of your golf swing is actually back here. So that will be back there for you. So what we want to do is, and I would set up exactly like this. I'd set up with the ball where you would normally be and that there, and just come a little bit closer and say, right, I'm going to do some swings, but I'm going to feel like the swing's widest ahead, so almost down where that extra target would be. And as you do it, you'll notice a couple of things. The first thing you'll notice is you will start touching the ground. The most important thing with touching the ground is you'll start noticing you'll be touching the ground much further ahead than you normally would. And for a lot of you, you probably don't touch the ground at all. So you'd stand up, make that swing, really focus on trying to get as wide as you can where that would be. And it's interesting because, again, when I'll do this with people, they'll also notice how much more and early they move towards the target. Because if you're going to sit back, you might get nice and wide by here, but you're going to touch back here, behind the ball, or you're going to miss the ground, top it and thin it. So once you've done a few practice swings, and you might say that feels remarkably simple. I would agree. It is remarkably simple. Whether it's remarkably easy is how good your focus is on this point during the swing as opposed to this point. So we're going to swing, I'm going to focus on trying to be as wide as I can there, and we're going to see what happens to the shot. So the strike felt great. We can see the low point was 2.9 inches ahead, the club's travelled down 3.6 degrees, the smash factor was 1.33, and the carry at 152. Now, it was a little bit out to the right, and the only reason I've put the smash factor on there is smash factor is how efficiently I'm moving energy from club head to golf ball. Now, the more loft that you present, the less efficient so the ball goes higher and not as far forward. So our smash factor would be down. So PGA Tour average is about 1.33, 1.34. So we know that was a good solid strike with a bit of shaft lean, so not as good accuracy as I would like, but I don't mind that to begin with. So again, I would do a practice swing, nice and wide in that follow through, and then again on the shot, try and be as wide as I can over the speed pedal. So again, felt solid. And we can see on TrackMan there, I think solid would be a good description for that. Right out the middle of the club, 3.3 inches ahead, club's travelled down 3.8 degrees, smash factor at 1.34, and again, very consistent at 153 carry. So I definitely think when you're practicing, if you can keep your focus, and playing I suppose, if you can keep your focus away from the golf ball and focus on what you're working on in your golf swing, you will definitely make a better golf swing. Remember, you get good at what you practice, and if you're practicing the right things, then you see an improvement in result. So I'm going to do one more with that there. So there's the practice swing. And now for the actual shot. So again, low point, not quite as far ahead. Club's travelled down 1.8 degrees, not quite as good, but carry at 159. But then the key is, it's always great doing it with a drill. So then remove that, take it away as the visual distraction. Obviously you can still imagine that there's something there, or if you really wanted to, you could even try looking at that point, have the practice swing, get that feel again. That felt good. And even for me, to be honest, it does feel like I'm a little bit wider on the way through. I don't think I ever get really this way like we see a lot of golfers, but maybe I get a bit more here as opposed to there on the way through. And then the proof is, can I do it without the training aid? Felt good. Low point 2.3 inches ahead, clubs travelled down 2.8 degrees, smash factor at 1.32 and carry at 151. So it felt good, but it is a case of practice makes permanent. If you're working on the right things, like I said before, you get better. If you're working on the wrong things, you just get good at what you're working on. And for most golfers, that ability to deliver the club travelling down with shaft lean to get ball and then ground contact is something they're really inconsistent with. And just because Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson have used this drill doesn't mean you're going to hit the shots like them, but it means that you can start delivering the club more similar to how they would. And again, if you can set up, put that swing on it and feel that you've delivered the club nice and solidly. So again, we can see 2 inches ahead, club's travelled down 2.5 degrees, smash factor at 1.3, carry at 157. The more consistent you can deliver the club for angle of attack, getting that ball and then ground contact with consistent strike location and loft, you're going to start hitting the ball more accurately in a more consistent distance. And anytime you can have good distance control and accuracy with your irons, you're going to hit the ball nearer the hole and ultimately turn those good ball striking rounds into great scoring rounds.